P, you didn't let him up.
Nah.
Oh,
I won't say hate, but I dislike when the technology on my end as the creator is always like it's weird, but like nothing change. I don't move nothing though. That's the weirdest part. They're like, do y'all ever like? I don't know, man. I can't even. Let's just. What was
it
y'all
is
talking
what
about?
it is, man. It is, we ain't judging you. We ain't. Hey, hold on. Let us see that glass you got. That look like one of them low data glasses. Let me see.
This is
Yeah,
our
that's the one. That
house.
looked like one of them glasses grandmama had.
I was about to say, bro, that was grandmama glass. We put some iced tea in that, bro.
Yeah.
We'll put some
Yeah.
sweet tea in that bad boy.
Done grew some parsley in that joint, everything. That joint that that joint that had some tomatoes. Nah, chill. I'm
Some
serious
onions.
now. I'm
By the
serious.
way,
Some green onion. Hey, you know you can regrow green onions when you get some onions, man. Cut the bottoms, put them in
bro,
a thing, man, and you never got to buy new ones.
Look, look,
you a
look.
mind
P is over tonight.
no, you a mind reader. I'm literally just did that today.
Did you? I seen on TikTok. I was
Excuse me.
TikTok watching how to grow vegetables that you always use. That's easy to grow. You never got to buy them again. I
Dang,
said,
that was.
"Oh, I like that."
I'm gonna
Yeah.
need y'all to start it because dang, that just kind of threw me off.
Nah,
What threw
man.
you off?
If it ain't true, it ain't right, man. Like ain't nobody do it like you, man. Just go on one of your rants. You need me to make a bunch of funnies on you, and then you be amped and
Bro, you
ready.
didn't already drop one
No,
on it, bro. He couldn't
yo,
even
what's up,
say that.
everybody?
Wow. The
Hey, we
little
just gonna
people,
hop into
the
this
little
week's
people of
episode. This is
Arizona.
the AP. Come on, shut up, man. I'm doing the intro, bro. God dang it, dog. God dang it, dog. This is how we starting the
Excuse me.
episode off. This is how we starting the episode off. Matter of fact, I got a bone to pick with y'all. That's gonna be the name of the episode. I got a bone to pick with y'all, Negroes.
Tell
Come
them why
on,
you're
man.
mad, son. Tell them why you're
on
mad.
this
Is that what we doing
resurrection
tonight?
week. First off, let's go ahead and do the intro real quick. Hey, yo, everybody, welcome to episode 3. This is creators, leaders, and sellers, and we're here to drop some jewels on y'all. We're gonna give y'all the outro when it's time for the outro, but it ain't that time right now. But first, I wanna ask y'all a question. Did y'all see y'all man's Joe Biden say that Resurrection Sunday was now considered Trans Day?
I ain't see that.
I heard.
Yeah,
I
bro.
seen something. I seen something flash across the screen, and it was colorful. And I said, "Oh my goodness!" And I I didn't even read it, bro. So I heard people talking about it though. I heard about it.
So what
Bro,
happened, man? He called yesterday. What day?
yesterday is now National Trans Day.
Man, next
I'm like,
topic.
yo,
Next
I don't
topic.
know. I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond
I
right now
can't even
because the
respond to that.
cancel community is real.
I can't respond to that. And
I
this ain't
mean,
nothing against nobody. I
No,
just can't respond to that.
I'm just well. I mean,
What do you say to that? Like
I,
for
I,
real,
I think what it is that they're testing the waters because I think
bro.
government
I
is
think
always.
they've already tested the waters.
I
They've
mean,
been
yeah, they
testing the
definitely do that,
waters.
but they're
yeah, they're
continuing to
polluted.
test the waters to see what people are just like okay with. I think silence speaks more than like outpour because the amount of individuals that, of course, believe in God, believe in Jesus, believe in the resurrection blood, and celebrate that day completely different than what's actually trying to be perceived now. I think they're testing those individuals to say, yo, are y'all gonna say nothing? It's like somebody coming to your hood and be like, nigga, say something. And then you be like,
But you know that goes under that
and then they
thing
just
too.
take over your spot.
No, I think it's that thing that what's understood don't need to be explained. Like, dudes, you already know. Come on. Who's really buying that?
Yeah. Because
Who's buying
It's
that?
just
that
crazy
community is like
just to think about it.
0.001% of the total population.
I don't even think that community buys that. I'm just being honest. I don't even think they would buy
They
that.
gonna get reparations before we do.
You
So
know,
serious.
it's I don't know, man. I heard I'm like, hold on, how do I want to
I
say?
mean,
What
it's
do I
just
want to
it's
say? How do I want to
recorded. I
address it? I
mean,
don't
I don't
know.
mean everything got to go in the episode. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't
Yeah,
live. You know
look,
what I'm saying?
Oh, listen,
listen.
bro, I'm not even
Yeah,
tripping like that. This is a no
yeah,
cut environment. There's no reason to be cutting. I'm just
Mm-mm.
saying, like for me, like I don't celebrate the holiday,
Yeah.
right,
but it's the point though, right? Like I'm always
right.
looking at it like, yo, what about the kids? Like everybody, like do what you want, but when you start making it impressionable to the kids, so now you're taking the holiday to pass it to someone else, and the kids are gonna look at it, and it's like, oh my god, that's so beautiful, but really, is it? Like I don't know, man. Like at some point, just put the brakes on. Like yo, stop. Like it makes no sense to me. Zero.
I mean, people are
That's just
already,
my opinion.
you know what I'm saying? Like you, because of course, when you have when the holiday comes around, you have a group of individuals, and I'm not going to name any specific areas of our religion, just to not be offensive to anyone. But I mean, you have a group of individuals that spends most of their time on the internet saying, you know, bunnies don't lay eggs and this don't do this and why y'all celebrating this and why y'all doing that. But then to add more confusion on top of that, I mean, of course, it reminds me of parables of just a lot of confusion, just causing chaos. And I think like that's the mixed message that's being sent across is that when you have people in emotional bondage, then they don't really even have control of their future. Like it goes back to a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about just controlling your day. Like when you see something on the news, like when we talked about the
Hmm.
bridge last week or something of that nature, we were just like, yo, we got to control what we put it, what we actually digest. I mean, even you know what I'm saying. One of my favorite books says, you know what I'm saying, watch what comes in and goes out and things of that nature. So I just I want you guys to take on not just for this particular situation or a story, but in the midst of things that are actually being put out, even in your respective fields, like how do you control the negative and the positive that's actually getting put out into the ears of the people that you're serving when you know that you're putting out a positive message? Anybody can take that.
That's a good question, man. And my thing is this, and it's gonna sound very basic, but I'm a firm believer, man. Truth stands on its own, bro, and truth speaks for itself. And whatever you believe your truth to be, or whatever truth is, and that's very subjective, right? But man, truth stands on its own. And if you put a strategy out, or you put a purpose out, or you put a statement out, and it's truth, my thing is this: whether you want to receive it right now or not, it's still truth.
Mm,
Truth doesn't need your buy-in for it to be truth. One of the things,
good,
the
bro.
Bible says, if God be God, then let every man be a liar.
Mm. So how is that
In other
relating?
words, God don't need your
Yeah.
validation to be God.
So when people are looking at what's actually being pushed to them in their
Hmm.
environment, whether they're believers of God or
Or
non-believers of God,
whatever. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a mixture
Yeah.
because
It's not. Yeah. Yeah.
they're attributes of like both. Like,
Right.
nah, bro,
It
it
is
don't make
what it
sense.
is.
You
Yeah.
call it what you call it, but it's not what it
What
is, type
you?
of
Yeah.
thing. But when you have those individuals that say they're only relating this information to their lives and to their personal situations and not actually making it not tied into the spiritual aspect of it, which is their loss. But when you say the truth is the truth and let every man be the liar, say in the aspect of what you teach, you know it is you studied it because I listened to some today. Actually, no, it was actually Future's album. You know what I'm saying? The commentary on
Hmm.
the album, he was like, "Yo, we're professionals. You know what I'm saying? We do this. Let us professionals do what we do because
Hmm.
this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? We study our craft. You know what I'm saying? We in the studio. We doing this. We've been doing this for years, so we know what the game is. So in the aspect of preach, you in the transformation space, and P, you in the sales space, when you study something and you've been focused on it for years and you have the proven formula and you know that it works and you know that it's truth, when you actually share that information and you teach that information to the people that you're working with, how do you make them hold that and not necessarily let the opposite come in and sway them?
Yeah. So this is one of the things, man, as we're thinking about talking about the whole thing. When we look at it, everybody has, and I'm straight from a sales approach, right? So I want everybody
Yeah.
to understand that. Like, I'm strictly from a sales angle. I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, when you make this move, there's what's in back of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the move is one thing, that's the visual. But the back of it is like, yo, there's an agenda here. You're posting this to get a reaction. And based on the reaction, you're gonna counter the response, right? So it's the same thing when I'm watching something or I'm talking with somebody. I have a firm belief of my sales process, my sales system. We're not going to take advantage of nobody. It's not going to be a hustle game. It's gonna be a way to ethically be able to find the right information by asking the right questions so that I can give you the information I need to give based on what you need, right? And I truly believe that the way I do it is by far better than other ways I see when it comes to manipulation, right? If you're just manipulating to get the sale, something's wrong. So when someone's posting something, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, cool. What's the twist? What can I take out of that? How can I spin it to make it part of my belief, right? And then give it back out so I'm clarifying the message. Because inside of everybody's message, there's a bunch of chaos. So I want to take the real point of the message, pull it out, make it clear to remove the chaos, and then I'm delivering it with a sense of conviction because I truly believe it. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm talking to you, I'm tapping what I have into your belief system. I'm not trying to get you to believe what I believe. I'm just trying to get you to start to look at things differently so you can tie it to your belief system and you don't have to take everything that is coming at you. You're not taking it, making it yours. Does that mean? So you're really being your true authentic self with the information that you're seeing. You're decoding the information, but you got to know who you are. You got to have a sense of clarity for yourself. You got to know what your mission is, what the vision is, and what message you want to relay to people. That's why when you first ask, I'm like, man, believe me, I promise I'm really not concerned if I hurt your feelings or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter to me. I used to worry about, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but now I'm like, I'm not doing nothing wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's about intentions. My intentions is to educate. My intentions is to help and develop, right? Help grow and develop. So everything I do is from that place. So I'm not never worried about hurting your feelings. That's personal. That's your emotion, not
And
mine.
then Priest, before you go, because I know you got to take on it, but man, this is why I love speaking to you guys because P, what you just, I mean, there's another person I want to speak about after this because I think we can actually break down this person and actually get sales tactics and also get transformation is how the people around these sales tactics are actually being changed. But the dope thing about what you said that actually gives me clarity is that everybody is fishing for data. Everybody is fishing for data. Like if I throw something out there, I'm gonna sit there and watch and see how many people like it, how many people share it, how many people view it, how many people comment. All these things gives me feedback on if this information is considered valuable, if this information is actually going to transform somebody, or if it's actually going to be completely rejected. That's literally the content strategy that I just got out of what you actually spoke about, and I'm gonna let Preach actually give me his mindset on this topic as well in this discussion before we actually speak about a person that I actually want to get your guys' take on the sales and transformation portion of it. So, Preach, when you think about that question, like, what is your thought process? Like, how are you actually holding that true to the people that you work with?
Man, you just it's same lines that P said, man. I'm gonna give you the real, and really after that, the decision is up to you,
Mm.
right? And my job is I'm not gonna manipulate because manipulation is gonna come back on me, right? And I want to be fair, and I want you to make a good, fair, honest decision. So even when it comes from a leadership or a transformation standpoint, I need you to be honest with you. Whatever your belief system is, I need you to be honest with you. Whatever you desire, whatever, be honest with you, and then we can go from there. And that involves so many things: imposter syndrome, negative emotions and triggers and all that. If we can get past all of that, and it's no different than what P is saying. Yo, let's get past the unknown or what you think is true, or what somebody told you, or what Ray told you, or Susie told you. No, let's address it. Let's address your fears,
Mm.
and let me tell you the real and see where you are, and we can build on that. But it takes a level of honesty, man. But you got to be honest with yourself. And I think that's what stops the outside noise. Man, the
Mm.
world pumps fear. If you think about it, man, we move off fear. Politicians sell you fear. Vote for me because of this, and this. I can stop that. I have the solution to stop that. And that's how people, and so when they come to sales or they come to a leadership or transformation situation, they come in because of fear.
Mm.
Yep.
But if
Bro,
I
that
can remove the fear, now we can have some fun and come with an honest conclusion.
whew, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, people don't understand the amount of clarity that I get from hearing you guys speak. Now I'm like, yo, before even content is actually put out, is who this person is actually being like, how is this person showing up before the content is putting out?
Mm-hmm.
So the people that are actually viewing the content already has a perception or idea who this person actually is. So if I drop a clip of you, or if I drop a clip of P, then people are like, okay, based off of the information and things that I've already digested from this person before, I already have a perceived idea of what's actually going to come across this screen. So even if before even before you actually even put content out next week, say even before you actually put content out tomorrow, people are actually perceived like you already have showed up in their head, meaning that you have already introduced yourself. So what I'm taking away from what Preach was saying is that like like you already are known. Like you actually have to have a identity to that person before you actually present them with something actually new. And then the other thing that I actually take away from that is that like when you actually man, I just lost it because that one was so good. Like those two ideas, if I can actually implement that in the client, I mean the content structure for the clients that I have, as far as having them actually being able to go out and do the work. This is one thing that I actually spoke about to a person on social media today. I was like, yo, I really appreciate you actually still operating in the era of you got it out the trunk, meaning that he's actually going out to the schools, playing fires in front of the schools, talking to the board. And on the plus side, he's filming all this so it's looking like an ad on the internet. But he's actually out doing the work. So people are actually seeing him. So he's actually showing up before the content shows up, type of thing. So like both of those two things are like genius. But one
So can
person I want y'all to go ahead.
I just wanted to throw this out there. If I walk up on the dealership, right, I got to be honest with myself first,
Mm.
because what's objective is that credit report, my credit score. That's objective. That's data, right? I
Mhm.
can't walk on that car lot as if I'm balling and I know my credit score ain't really what it should be or could be, right? I can't walk out there if I'm balling if I already haven't been approved and got a check already. I got to know what my numbers are. I got to know what my interest rate should be. I got to know what my monthly payment should be. The minute I walk up there and I'm honest and I'm straight with P, then P can lead me to an honest sale and something that's going to fit my budget and possibly still walk out there with what I want. But if I walk out there with false information and I come across a salesman who is manipulative, bro, we gonna be going in a circle. We're gonna be there all day.
All day.
Because they already
All day.
identify your weakness, and that's what manipulators do. They see your
All day.
weakness, and then
Right,
they pounce on it.
right.
Man,
If I know I
that's
got a $30,000 check from Navy Federal already,
Yeah.
I
ooh,
already
you
know
talking
P's.
different.
You see what I'm saying? My confidence is different. I already know what I can afford. So I'm gonna walk to P and say, and I already kind of know what my interest rate gonna be because they gave me the check and they already kind of told me what the interest rate is gonna be. But
Mhm.
it's not going to be until everything is finalized. And I know this time of year we coming off income tax season, so I know interest rates are gonna be high. I know I may not get the best deal right now. I got to know that going in, right? But if I want what I want, right? Because I didn't research it. I looked it up on the internet. I went and got my check. I'm gonna go to P and say, "Yo, I got 25K, bro.
Mm.
I got 25K I need to spend. The reason why I'm saying 25K, I know my cap is 30, but I got to include tax, title, and license, right? And I may want an extended warranty. Now I have to make the decision if I want to trade in for the extension in the package, or do I want it? You see what I'm saying? But I gotta know where I stand, and now I gotta be honest with P, right? Because if I'm not honest with him, then guess what? Now we finna go in this roller coaster ride, and we're gonna be there all day. But if I say, yo, P, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm working with, what you have, right? He gonna tell me what he have. You don't have to really sell me. I know what I want. I need to know what you have. Now he can sell me. Now the selling is on what he has that can meet my needs, and it may be something even better than what I thought. But watch this. Even if I walk away with nothing, guess what P about to do? He about to go find me something.
Absolutely.
So how are you guys both? I want to see from both of you guys' perspective. When you're working with people that are not showing up as their authentic self, they not showing up like that way. And then P, when you know somebody walking in and they capping, bro. They know they got bad credit. They know they ain't got no cash down. They know they ain't got none of that. So you're dealing with that preach in regards to people just running through their everyday lives, like not knowing where their starting point is, not honest with their GPS. They haven't done the inventory to say, hey, yo, this is what I got, this is what I don't got, and let me actually walk in my authentic self. That's what you're dealing with. P, you're dealing with people that got their income tax check, but nigga, their credit score is 560. They like, bro, they know they capping. They got a little bread, so they feeling themselves. So like, preach. I mean, no, actually, P, how are you dealing with those people? Because I want to hear from your perspective. How are you dealing with those people that's not showing up as their authentic self in their finances, and they're trying to purchase something that might not necessarily be what they need right now?
Yeah. So real quick, right? Hold that. But the other part, when we was talking about the politicians, because I really want people to understand. I really want people to understand when we're talking about seller outcome and not a product or service, right? And if you look at politicians,
when you talk about politicians, this is where the leaders sell.
That's what it is. That's what it. So I want the people to, because you can, when you said it, I'm just like, yo, that's a dope analogy, right? I'm always looking for the sales angle, and I'm like, yo, the politicians. You look at Democrats sell what they sell, right? I'm not trying to persuade a party. People sell what they sell, and it makes a certain demographic go crazy, right? And then they look at the other side and they're like, oh, they're bad because these ones are selling. But if you look at the reality, it's really switched. But they're whatever, right? But they're getting on TV and they're selling you outcomes, and you're like, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this. You totally forget about what someone might have already done. And you're like, oh, they're gonna do this, and and it sounds better than the other person. They're selling the outcome. So every time you decide and you're switching your vote and you're jumping around, you were sold on the outcome. So that's the power of selling outcome, right? Stop selling product or service, sell outcome. But back to the question, right? I just didn't want to miss that. When you're looking at individuals when they come in, man, there's a couple things. Number one, when somebody is ready to fill out the credit app so fast, red flag, right? People with good credit are not filling out credit apps real fast, right? People that come in and they're wishy-washy, don't really know. You ask a few questions and they're all over the place, suspect, right? These are all suspect things. When someone says, yeah, I want this $80,000 car, man, I got $1,000 to put down, red flag, right?
They came to the dealership in the Uber.
Yeah, listen, when you say 1,000, you're better off saying 0. Because those with good credit, those with some bread is like, yo, my credit good enough, man. I'm not worried about no payment, nothing. I ain't putting no money down. I'm only gonna keep the car for a little while. I'll keep my money, right? So that's something totally different. So when they do that, I'm like, yo, nah, I totally get it. You want to drive that? Listen, what I can do now, I go to the time switch, right? And I'm like, yo, listen, what we can do is we can get all of this done. That way, make good use of your time while we're doing this. That way, when we come back, everything's pretty much done. Now, people that are serious, right? Even if they got the bread, don't want to, they're like, yo, you know what? That's a good idea, man. I'm real busy today. So now I'm playing on the time. I'm playing on their time. When people don't value their time, bro, they don't value the money. You see what I'm saying? So there's so many things that go hand in hand And I'm just identifying the simple things. And pretty much, I don't know, man, I'm probably batting like a 98% when I'm looking after I go through these questions. And I know, like, okay, this is where you are. You're roughly. Or you get the people that say, yeah, no, I looked on Credit Karma and see. Okay, yep, that's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So there's so many little things you can tell. Why? Because there's a different language of people with money. There's a different language of people with credit. There's a different language of people who do this all the time. And then there's a whole nother language of those that are just trying to get there. You see what I'm saying? So once you understand the two languages, you customize your questions to identify which language side they're on, bro. And that makes that easy. They qualify themselves right out of it. And that's when you tell them, hey, you know what? Honestly, you're probably about 2 to 3 cards away from the one you really, really want. Let me, can you mind if I educate you to help you get there? And we can probably do it sooner. Is that something you're open to? Oh my God, yes, absolutely. You see what I'm saying? So I'm never telling anybody no. I'm always leaving hope, right? Leave hope. Stop telling people no, ask questions, and then leave hope. And that will move them further. The further you get somebody in the process, the more likely they are to pull the trigger, whether they really don't have it or if they do have it.
So as entrepreneurs on social media, like, is it valuable to, because you already know who you're speaking to, they already know that you have the truth about that particular topic. So are you actually putting, is it valuable to put out opposite or opposing messages to actually grab the attention of the people that you don't have their attention, or they're not in your system or not in your funnel? So you grab their attention and introduce them to a negative aspect of it to actually provide them with the positive solution? Is that like, because that's what I took away from that. It's like, yo, people already know that I have the sauce in regards to this particular topic. So if I actually give them a negative connotation of what the sauce is, like a bad taste, like, that don't taste right. All right, let me add the boom, and then here you go. Oh snap, that tastes good right now. I think that's another solution on top of the solution that we got last week, as far as creating tension to actually get attention. That's the same thing. It's like you create tension by providing something negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, if, because you said, preach, that people are like, the information that they're putting out is causing fear, and it doesn't even look like it's causing fear, but it's causing fear to somebody. If you call it Trans Day to a certain group of people, that's causing fear. To another group of people, they like, yeah, like that's what it is, type of thing. So is it to, they're putting out the bait? Oh man, y'all genius. They're putting out the bait of fear to see if people gonna bite and actually trying to adjust and get comfortable. So like, when you're working with people, is that kind of a twist on things? Like, I don't think that's a negative sales tactic, or it's a negative way to actually transform somebody, but to actually almost put a mirror to them to show them who they truly are, to actually get them to who they need to actually be.
Yeah,
Man,
absolutely.
yeah.
Now
It's
go ahead, preach.
man, I was gonna say it's a strategic plan, right? To see the reaction, right? And see which way we need to move after this. That was dropped, man, just to get a reaction. It
Wow.
produced some fear. It drew some, right? Drew some in. And put some away. Like myself, like I said, I look at the situation like, man, that's baloney, right? I'm not even for to buy the sauce on that. I'm not even for to taste the sauce. Don't even give me the wooden spoon with the sauce on that. I'm not for to taste that, right? Because it's tainted, right? It's tainted. And I think anybody, you don't even have to believe in the day to know that it's tainted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't even have to walk that path to know, oh, that was tainted. And so, man, what we do is no different than in sales. I'm looking on how to lead. The only way I can lead is I got to identify where you are. So I have to be outside of the problem, looking in the problem, but have a strategy to pull you out the problem. And the only way I can do that is I have to put one foot in the problem, but have a strong enough balance to be outside the problem to pull you out the problem.
Ooh, I mean, y'all analogies be so on point with the topics of today, because even when we look at artists like Beyonce, who just dropped the album, Her previous streams on the last album was like 80 million. This one on was like 100 times more than that. I don't
Why
know
is that though, Q? Why is that?
Bro, I know now. I know now because of y'all too. Because there was a certain group of people that was scared of shit,
Thank you. And watch what they did just in the last what
and they
they
fell
showed
for it.
they fit because they put out saying no way African Americans can sing country music. T-Pain had just put out, right, that I stopped putting my name on my credits for country music because of the backlash I was getting. And what B does? Oh, well, let me go kick this door then. Since it's a fear about us being in it, let's go see what that's like.
Wow, bro, that's the marketing strategy that people are using right now. Like,
Bro, I've been using it forever.
Man, but
it's been the same way forever.
The fact that it's being broken down in this way, and I hope everyone is listening and taking notes, because when you hear it from the side of sales strictly, and then you tie it to the actual personal development and the transformation of a person, which they both tie hand in hand with each other, we're constantly in this process of actually in fear and transformation. Fear, transformation. If I can present you with some fear, I can possibly transform you into what I need you to be. It's a constant molding process. So I'm looking at it in regards to content, because we have to create strategies and we have to think about ways to actually use this in a positive. So we're not in a world that's actually just affecting us negatively, and we're actually always being consumers and we're not being producers. Because if you're actually operating in fear, I think you're in a constant state of just being a consumer, because you're looking for information to actually prove something different than what you actually in fear of. You know what I'm saying? So some people are probably not only stream Beyonce's album, but they probably stream Garth Brooks' album 1,000 times more than Beyonce's album, which it was his past album, because they try to hold on to something that they deem as truth. So like when you're dealing with these aspects, because we can go over the numbers, because I mean this is situations that if also used for the good, it also can be a positive. Because I mean you can use that way in regards to the things that you're doing. Like P just talked about some of his sales training this week before you actually hopped on, where things actually worked in his favor. And I'm pretty sure some of those people were dealing with some fear in their head of like, yo, I don't want to be the same person this year as I was last year, or next year I don't want to be the same person I am now as I was this year. I want to actually change. And I think not only in sales, they're actually dealing with that in their personal lives too. So now that we're tackling these two tactics of fear and then transforming people, like how do we actually take control of that as entrepreneurs and creators that are actually trying to use it for good?
I watch this real quick while I'm thinking about it, right? With that fear, because I want people to understand like how to connect these two. When I'm saying sell the outcome, and then you hear the fear, right? The fear, sell the outcome. Well, when I'm talking to you, I'm creating an outcome of what would happen if you don't have this. What will happen if you don't take these steps? And I want you to say it to me. So I'm like, well, what if, months down the line, 10 months down the line, a year, and this happens? You start talking about it and you can hear it in their voice. You can see it in their face. Oh my God, things would be messed up and da 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 da. There's the fear. Boom, you grabbed it, right? So now that you got them to identify and isolate their own fear, now you start drizzling the relief, right? Because why? When someone's in pain, you crave relief. Sometimes, man, we're trying to get people the relief before we attached it to a fear. So the relief, just because we know it's there, doesn't exist in their mind. So the fear helps to create what we're looking to create. And then we hit it with the release as we sell the outcome of having no more pain, right? So I just want people to really get that, man. Because
man, it's funny that you say that,
crucial.
man, because this is just what I was about to say, bro. You give people or you help set their sight on a vision. That's just selling the outcome. I'm giving you a vision, right? Once I give you the vision, now that's going to produce this thing called purpose, right? I have a vision of what can be. Now, what's the purpose of us doing business? Or what's the purpose of the business now, right? Now we totally disregarding fear. Because now I got a vision, right? Now the vision is telling me, okay, now I got purpose. The next thing is now I can see a picture of the future, right? Now I can see what it could look like if everything goes according to the plan. And then the third thing is now everything has to line up with my values.
Mm.
So now I got to have clear values of what it is, even whether it's sales, whether it's politician, or whatever that thing is, right? To remove the fear, I need to have set my sight on a higher frequency and have a vision. That
Mm.
vision is going to produce purpose. That purpose is going to give me a clear picture of the future. And now that clear picture of the future has to line up with what? My values. What's
Mhm.
going to drive my behavior? What's going to drive my decisions? What's going to give me that clarity? And from a sales point of view, from a leadership point of view, that's when you get my yes.
Mm.
Yep.
I got to
See,
let my vision override the fear.
when you guys talk, I automatically be like, yo, I didn't got the secret sauce, because like everything that you guys like, when you guys dissect these little things that I actually throw out there, is giving me more insight that I actually ever had. Like everyone is being manipulated because the people that are actually putting out the fear, they already have their end goal in mind. So
Already.
because a lot of people, whether they're putting out content, whether they're starting courses, whether they're creating a community, no one is actually reverse engineering their process and actually starting with the end and trying to get to the beginning. They're actually starting from a place of nowhere, and then that's where they're constantly being distracted. That's why fear can come in and actually push you, because the person that's actually putting it out, they know what they're trying to get. Like
Yeah.
Beyonce know that she's trying to get something. You know what I'm saying? Like they already have their quotas,
Mhm.
they already have their numbers, they already have they whatever they want to hit. They already know what the minimum is. They already know how much
Yeah.
money they're gonna have. So let's do this, and this, and then it's gonna work out this way. And if you're an individual that is actually creating content or is actually starting a course or whatever it may be in that realm, if you don't have an end goal in mind already, then you're going to be distracted by these things that just come out daily, because it's a lot of people that already have their goals in mind. They already have the end in mind. Like that was the breakthrough that I just got from what you were saying. And I hope I
Mhm.
took that the right way, because a
Absolutely.
lot of people are actually operating with no end goal in mind. They don't, they start a course and they like, I might want to get 25 people in. Like, no, nigga, I'm getting 50 people in there and I know it. And this I'm gonna reverse engineer it. And whatever happens,
Yeah.
I'm y'all gonna have to deal with it. Like it's that's just that oh man, that was
So watch
crazy.
this though. That's
Yeah.
let's talk about why do you have to have why do you have to reverse engineer it, right? Because most people don't understand the concept,
Talking my
which
language now.
I
Oh,
don't understand it, but
I was
why?
waiting for you
Like
because I know you
the
shut down people
reason,
last week.
yeah, the reason, right, to reverse engineer this thing is because when you start off, you're not going to be afraid. You're going to be gun ho. You're going to be ready. But then as it gets difficult, the fear kicks in. So when you reverse engineer it, you're already started the process focused on happiness, right? Focused
Mm,
on the end result, focused on the mission, focused on the outcome. So now when that little bit of fear comes in before the big fear comes, you start thinking about the outcome again, which trumps the small fear. And then you get past it, and then a new fear comes in, and then you think about the outcome some more, and it trumps that fear again. So if you don't execute from a place of where you're going, and you're just trying to build and figure it out and construct as you go, that fear is going to keep building up because you have nothing to trump the fear. Reverse engineering helps you to trump it, man, and that by itself is like phenomenal, right? That's internal motivation.
yeah, I think you started because last week when you actually were speaking, you shared a way that you actually develop people live in sales training, where you actually having people stand up and be like, "Hey, yo, what's your plan? You ain't got a plan. Sit your ass down," type of thing. Like, and I think that's a crazy and amazing approach, because a lot of people have these ideas of where they want to go, but then there's
Mhm.
no plan attached to it. So when you actually, even if you see a destination like, hey, yo, I want to grab that cup, but I'm on it, like I don't have no plan to actually get the cup, and I'm gonna be distracted. Like, oh man, I can't do this. It's like it's crazy how that actually is actually playing out in my mind and actually giving me insight right now of how many people. and also it actually gives me a superpower because I'm like, dang, how many people can I manipulate? Like, how many people don't know what this person knows, and how can I actually sell it to this person like, oh, bro, game changer, bro. It's so crazy how you guys are doing that. So, like, when we think about these individuals, because it's not just Beyonce, there's so many other individuals that's doing this, whether it be in movies, whether it be with anything that people are trying to promote.
Mhm.
How are we actually taking this and actually teaching it to people? Because like we're talking about it now and we're understanding it, but how would you actually break that down, preach to someone that is not really, they haven't been around this type of information their entire life? They're coming to you for the first time and they're like, I just want change. You know what I'm saying? I want to be different. And they haven't identified these small things that are actually hindering them. How are we actually inciting them to actually get this same feeling that we're getting when we actually get new information?
Man, that's a good question. The first thing I'm going to do is ask the right questions. And my questions I'm asking are not why questions, because why is going to give me an emotional answer. And we already talked about it. I don't want an emotional answer. I need a thought out, intentional answer. So I'm going to ask what questions help me understand and how to questions, right? And I just want to take them on a quick journey on how they have this thought process or this behavior, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Once I understand that paradigm and where it comes from and that thought process where it comes from, by just, hey, what was your home life like? What was growing up like? Get that information. Now I know what shaped their thought process. Now I know what shaped their mentality. Now I'm like, okay, so what's the end result you're looking for? And I'm gonna say, and you know what? The end result is going to contradict your current situation. Let's just get that out the blue right now. The end result you're looking for contradicts where you are right now. Now, let's focus on that end result. Now I want to get in your emotions. Man, how would you feel about that? Like, yo, Q, how would you feel, man, if you had a team of 10 people and you operating from, a standpoint where you producing documentaries on influencers that people didn't know that's coming up, and your documentary is actually putting people on? Like, you the Oprah when it comes to videography and film. You putting people on. You taking people like myself and P, and you spending the time and you building out that story on how we got to where we are, and you putting it to film. And you got 10 editors with you, working with you, man. And y'all just pushing out docs. Man, how would you feel about that?
Amazing. Like
You see
amazing. I feel like I'm creating I'm creating a legacy, creating an
that part?
imprint. Like it's gonna be
It
something here even when I leave.
right. And then so my next question is, so help me understand, Q, if that's the result you're looking for, what would be the first thing you would need to do? Where you go? How
Oh,
you
he's
gonna
there.
leave in the
No, he
Yo, blast.
he was there. He had his camera went up a little bit, so it was over.
oh,
It
okay.
was shooting.
See, I was serious the whole episode, bro. I was serious the whole episode. The whole God, where the cameraman at? Hold on, where the buttons at, bro? Hold on. All right, thank you, cameraman. I appreciate that. You always got my back, bro. I was serious the whole episode, bro. Why we going there? Come on, man.
Hey, my fault, man. You did it. Okay, yeah.
I
I,
walked
I
Hey,
away,
take. I redact.
bro. You
I
got that much
redact that.
taller than me, and I'll outrun you any day, bro. Come on, don't do me. You want to
Hey,
talk? Let's go, bro. Come on. I bet you I
hey,
can get more.
I race you any day. I race you
I
any
bet you I
day.
can get
You're
more.
not gonna
Let's
smoke me
go.
like you think you're gonna
Let's go.
smoke me,
Next
and
episode.
you're gonna be known.
Next,
You're gonna be known as the little dude that's always in the gym that damn near lost to the big man. That's how you're gonna be known. You don't want that.
hey,
You
damn
don't
near
want
ain't
that
a
smoke,
loss.
man.
Damn near ain't a loss. And bro, I promise you, you won't be a salesman after I get done.
Yo, you don't want that smoke, man. You got to be careful what
ooh,
you ask for. See, sometimes, right? I tell you all the time, right?
here
They
it
say
is.
the Chrysler 300 looked like the Rolls Royce until they were side by side. You see what I'm saying? You look like an athlete until you next to one. You see what I mean? So I just want you to
Oh,
get that, bro.
oh,
Don't get fooled,
Hey,
oh,
man.
oh.
I'm not even going hate on that line because I was rewatching the interview Shannon Sharp where he actually interviewed Steve Stout, and he was talking about the time where he actually first met Kobe Bryant, and he was
Mhm.
saying like how Kobe Bryant was talking to Steve Stout asked him, he was like, because like people that grow up in an environment where they come from a single parent household, you know what I'm saying, come from the hood, we got a different like aggression with us. You know what I'm saying? We got a different like chip on our shoulder. Like people gonna see who I am, they gonna know what I do, type of thing. And then Steve Stout had asked Kobe, he was like, "Hey, yo, bro, how do you actually go against people like that? Because you came from a 2-parent household, you came from a good foundation." He was like, all them people is good till they run into a Kobe, till they run into a Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Till they come up to the real thing. Like they all got this sauce till they come up to the real thing, because we got that same aggression. You know what I'm saying? We got that same work ethic, but then we got this good foundation though, and that's what they missing. So I'm not even gonna knock you on that, but I still tell you, bro, don't do me, bro.
He don't want that
Don't do me,
smoke.
bro. I'm
Bro,
on a
pull up.
I'm on a stairmaster and treadmill and Zoom calls, and they don't even know.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like I told everybody else that made that little foolishness, let that foolishness come up out of them. I'm gonna tell you what I tell them all. Listen, bro, it's nothing but a word, bro.
I
Just tell me
ain't
time and
bro.
location. I'm pulling up. I'm that guy. I'm pulling up. Pull your camera out too. I'm pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's all I'm gonna say. Ain't no back and forth,
I'ma
man.
still make
I
a
do
reel
this.
out of
Hey,
it,
you
bro.
know what though? Hey, limitations control the mind.
Mm.
I don't
Love
have
it.
I don't have a limitation that says anybody gonna smoke me. I got you. You
Until
see
you
what I'm
run it.
saying? Nah.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, listen. I'm Tyson, you Paul. What's his name? Paul? That's what it's gonna look like.
I mean, for one thing, if
See what I'm saying?
Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson, we gotta get the choppers and go to the street, bro. We can't go out like that as black men. We can't watch a legend.
Tyson gonna hurt him, man. It's gonna
We
be
can't watch a legend. I'm just saying, if it's rigged, I know America hates black men. I just go ahead and cancel me now, bro. Because if
How
Jake,
old is Tyson?
no,
57.
it don't matter though. It's just it's the stature, it's the personality, it's
Bruh,
the understanding of who Mike
bruh.
Tyson is, bro.
Listen,
Like
let me
a
tell you,
white dude can't beat Mike Tyson.
it doesn't matter if he does or doesn't, right? Tyson's legacy is already set. That's why
But
you'll
but
never win.
I'm telling you, but in the new generation's mindset, it'll have an extreme asterisk beside it, bro. And I just don't want that to
The
happen.
man is
Mike Tyson.
57.
I think they should send Mike Tyson back to prison for a couple of days. He needs to go back to New York, bro. I'm telling
Nah,
you, bro.
yo,
Like,
dude he said something about Tyson's kid that passed away or something.
Oh no, he didn't.
Yes, sir. He said something. That's what I heard. I don't know. I ain't see it,
bro.
but he made a comment about one of Tyson's kids, and I think it's the one that
Uh,
passed.
I don't
Bro,
think you want to do that.
he got a whole nother problem getting in that ring, man. You know, if
He
it goes
about to
if
face
it
something
goes
he
some
really don't
time,
nothing about.
yeah, one body shot, one chin check, bro, it's gonna hurt. He's gonna wonder why he got in there.
Well, my thing is this: he better hope that Tyson don't take it serious.
So you know they got stipulations where Mike Tyson can't knock him out. It's
Yeah,
an
right.
exhibition.
You can't
That's the trash
control a
part about it.
knockout. If I touch your chin, you're gonna fall.
I just hope he do it. on
What
purpose.
Tyson gonna hit him with a half a punch? The
Bro,
half's
this
gonna
Mike
hurt.
Tyson, bro. This Mike Tyson.
You know they're gonna protect their people.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, all
Tyson
I can
might
say
bite
is,
him. He might bite him in an expedition.
Bro.
I'm sorry, man. This Tyson is from a place this dude ain't never been before. You know, yeah, it's you know, it's a difference.
I don't
That's
see
why I
it
say,
lasting
man,
long, man.
I had the luxury, well, I would say the blessing to film inside a green prison, to film inside a few of those prisons in that area, which is amazing. I still don't understand, like, from the first time going to Atlanta to even filming with E, you know what I'm saying? Like, even walking in that room for the first time, I still don't even know how that happened, to the point that I'm actually filming inside of Attica and these other prisons, you know what I'm saying, where Mike Tyson was first, like, he was in that uptown New York area where he first was given the ability on the professional side to take his anger and just transform it to another place. So even just walking in there, seeing some of these individuals that for sure are still in 1985 from the way that they talk, you know what I'm saying, from New York, like still talking the same, still with that same aggression, still yoked up. And like, of course, like some people in prison, they don't age, you know what I'm saying? They be 60 years old and get out and they look like they 20 because it's just time just holds in that place. I
It ain't
mean,
no stress.
I think it's I mean he definitely don't know what he's getting himself into, but I think I want to ask you guys, how valuable is it to, even as high as we go in our respective spaces, to always somehow find a way or even have our own like way of getting back down to our roots to remind ourselves of that dog that's truly in us? Like how do you guys have a formula? Do you guys have a plan? Like, do you guys have things that you guys look at? Do you guys have touchstones? Because I mean, some people like leave events with touchstones to kind of remind them of certain things. So how is us as individuals? Well, you as a leader, Peach as a seller, I mean P as a seller, you know what I'm saying? Me as a creator, how are we actually still holding on to those things that actually give us that extra sauce? You know what I'm saying? That extra dog.
For me, man, one, music, because music plays on your DNA, right? Number two,
Hold on a minute. You thought I was finished? And I was finished?
number
I'm
two,
telling you,
man,
when I get
I
that
remember.
Reebok check, I'm putting online like, oh my
There it
bad.
is, right? There you go. He about to go. He about to go. He putting on the tennis
All right,
shoes.
go ahead.
He putting on the tennis shoes. Second, man, is I remember being hungry. I remember being hungry. And I remember being hungry, man, and it puts me in the analogy of a chef. Nobody cares what type of day the chef had. Chef is in the back room. Nobody cares. All they want to see is the product. And the chef's responsibility, no matter what type of day he had, is to feed the room. And so I remember being hungry. So I go to that hungry place and I say, okay, now it's my time to be the chef. I got to feed the room because I know what it's like to be hungry. And that's what takes me there. And it takes me to that low place to pick up everything that I gathered from being hungry and how I survived. Now I got to go give it to them. I got to feed the room. Don't nobody care what type of day I've had. Don't nobody care about my yesterday. Don't nobody care what I went through before I walked in this room. It don't even matter no more. What matters is I got some hungry people out there and they ready to eat from my menu and I got to go feed the room.
Wow, bro. But I can't wait to see what P say. But that just reminds me of dang, man, I lost it. Go ahead, P, take it because oh man, that's just so good. Because what
Repeat
was it,
that question back for me one more time. I was starting. I was listening to preaching. How you be listening to somebody and it become a
bro?
classroom? Like I was
Yeah,
listening in classroom mode,
I
and I
was
forgot
trying
what
not
the
to.
question was. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I
yo,
was
that
trying not
right
to
there.
talk. I was trying not to talk in my head. I just wanted to listen because
That's
I mean,
hard for
I'm
you.
telling you, y'all, like, hey, I feel like I should be somehow give it like I need to cash up y'all after this because it's really just be game changers after game changers as far as the understandings that I get from this. But I was saying, like, what touchstones do you have that remind you of that dog and you remind you when you was on the block doing your thing, like reminding you, like he said, when you was hungry,
Yep.
and you
I
and you
got you.
and
I
you're
thought
able to
that's what
tap
it
into
was.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought that's what it was. So for me, right, and anybody that read the book, man, you know, it was I was 18, man. This when I had got I was out. I don't want to
Wait,
say I was
your
kicked
book,
out because I
right?
could have went home.
Not the book,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
book.
My book.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. When
Pierre the
inside my
author.
book, right? And
Pierre the
yeah,
author.
yeah. Oh
You
yeah,
know what
I
I'm
did
saying?
that. I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did that.
So now, there was a moment, man, and it was wintertime, and I had went out, and I was supposed to go to my man's crib before he went to sleep, and I was throwing rocks at the window, snowballs at the window, everything was freezing outside, and my man didn't open the door. He was knocked out, so I went and jumped in his mom's car because she always left it open, and I slept in there, and I still got the coat, man, like I still got the coat that I had on in that car, and I had my arms in my sleeves, right? Like my whole arms inside the coat. And I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I promise, man, I was literally probably 15 minutes from like just not waking up. Like I was that frozen. I couldn't get my hands open, nothing. And I walked up the street to the Dunkin' Donuts. And I never forget, man, I got to the top of the street. The traffic from the red light had it backed all the way up. And I was looking at this old dude and his wife, man, this old white couple. They had to be like mid to late 70s, and they was in a brand new Benz, clean.
Mm.
And I looked and I was like, yo, they're smiling, they're happy. Like, I know they don't work. How do they afford that? I ain't understand how money work, nothing, right? I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the rest of the cars, and they're laughing and they're smiling, and my life is in chaos. And I went into Dunkin' Donuts, man. I had $5. I bought me a hot chocolate and a blueberry muffin heated with butter. They gave me back some change. I sat down, and when I was sitting there eating, there was a group of homeless people. And I was like, I ain't sitting over there near them. I'm going way over here, right? And I'm like, yo, we're the same. None of us have a key in our pocket that opens any door in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can't go nowhere, none of us. And I said, wow, I'm gonna get the hell up out of this hole. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get out of it. So for me, every time before I go get on the stage, before I go into a room, before I get on the call, I'm like, yo, how much more humiliated can I be? I've been homeless. I slept in cars. You know what I mean? I took bird baths inside of local restaurants. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing all of this stuff. Like, yo, how can I run around here and feel bad? And that's what I'm thinking about. Like, yeah, I got to leave all of me in this room. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everything that I've been through, I got to leave it in this room, no matter how they feel, whether they receive it or not. And I be telling them, bro, I be like, yo, you know what? Listen, I'm going to tell you how selfish I am. I ain't even really talking to y'all. Everything that I'm saying right now, I'm reinforcing it for me, and y'all just happen to be here to hear it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm talking out loud, and they look like, wow, bro, I am so serious. I'm not talking to the room. I am talking to me out loud. They get to hear me, and I'm pointing it out to them. You see what I'm saying? So that's the fire for me. Like, that's what really lights it. Like, I know what it's like to hope you make it home. I know what it's like to hope you die versus to go do 25, 30 of them years, 50 years in the joint. You know what I'm saying? I know what that mentality is like. People used to be like, yo, what if you die? I'm like, I'll take that all day versus going to serve the rest of my life in the joint. That's a mentality. So when I'm up here and I'm free and I ain't worried about the jail, nothing, and I got a bag to be there, come on, bro. Like, that's the fire. So I want that fire. I want to help people that are looking at me to find that fire for them. And I never have to tell them how to find it. I just got to get them to talk. And then when that expression changes on their face and their voice changes, I'm like, yo, stop. See how you're feeling right now? And they're like, yo, how'd you get there? I just want you to think about that. Don't think about nothing else. Boom. And I move on. And they're stuck in that thought. And then I come back like, yo, you still feeling? They're like, oh my God, thank you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, man, that's the fire. Everything that I've been through, bro, I got no reason to be afraid to leave myself in any room. But when it comes to creating content, it took a long time for me to not worry about what somebody might say about what I say, because I didn't want to offend, or I wanted to be politically right. When I got past that one, bruh, game changer.
Wow. Another when you were saying, for one, this man still got the code. That's a touchstone right there. That's something that you can always go back to, and that'll be my suggestion for the people that are listening, is that create a touchstone if you don't have one. Something that you can actually physically go back to, you know what I'm saying? A place that you can actually go back to and actually remind yourself. I mean, so much happened in my last 2 weeks where I'm just like, bro, it's over. It's over for a lot of things because I'm reminded, you know what I'm saying, of some of the struggles and some of the things that I actually went through. But also with some of the things that you were saying, it reminded me of the book, you know what I'm saying, 10x is better than 2x. Meaning that the same things, the same effort that we poured into becoming 2 times better is the same effort that's going to give us the 10 times better, as long as once we actually, you know what I'm saying, dissect and minimize what is actually important and what's actually not important. So like the things that you said, as far as like the life that you went through, the things that you've overcome and how you actually got there and what you've actually gained from that from that time that you spent in that place, although it was momentary, like now it's actually helping you get to your destination much more faster. And you realize in that process that the same thing that you used back then is the same thing that you can use now if you just make a slight adjustment. So that's like another game changer. And I'm amazed that you brought up content. Well, I appreciate, not amazed, but I appreciate you bringing up content, because every step that we take, we realize that we're making strides, and we should operate in a place Like that's why it needs to be a touchstone. We should operate in a place to remind us, like, hey, bro. Like I had to sit back and just think, like, yo, why not every day I'm just happy? Because I went from sleeping in abandoned buildings, man. Them California burritos saved your boy life in a fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like elementary school, you know what I'm saying? My first time getting kicked out of school was because I had got found with crack cocaine in my shoes in elementary school, bro.
Wow.
Because of my foster dad had, you know what I'm saying? That was one of those, I just happened to have it in my I don't even know why I got caught. Think about it. Somebody snitched on me.
Let me find out you was slanging, man. Let me find
Yeah,
out you
on
was
the
out
slide.
there. You
From
know
the
what I'm
Hey,
saying?
From the shoot.
I've been in drug raids and everything. You know what I'm saying? Foster childhood was kind of wild, bro. But the crazy thing is that I don't think that affected me. Well, I mean, according to my therapist, it affected me in a negative way. But at the same time, I don't think it really did, because even if I look at some portions of your life, P, it's like it gives you an edge. It gives you something that's just like just that dog, you know what I'm saying? Just that overcoming sensation that like you can't be stopped. Like there's no person that you could put in front of me that I can't teach to be a salesperson. There's no person that you can put in front of me, whether they're a CEO or a Fortune 500 company, you know what I'm saying, or whether actually they just walked into owning a new church or whatever it may be, preach, where I can actually help that person see who they truly are and actually help them get to who they truly need to be to actually fully live out their purpose and actually demand what
Man,
they deserve.
yo, Q, that's
Man,
called power, man. That's power. And that's the power of God working through you.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? When you look at a circumstance, man, and you look at that circumstance, even when you in the circumstance, in the situation, and you don't know no better, when P saying he's sitting there and he cold and he looked and he saw something better, power started moving.
mm.
Power started because he believed I can do better than this. Then power said, "Okay, let's go."
And I think
Power
we
is wait. Power is waiting on you to come in agreement with a higher version of yourself.
Yeah.
I think honestly sometimes we forget our win loss record.
Huh?
I think we forget our win loss record. I
Oh
think we
yeah,
forget that we have
absolutely.
more wins than we have losses. Like if we look back at
Yeah.
all of our situations,
Any
you
great
still
coach will
here,
tell
so
you he
you won.
focuses on the losses more than the wins. Every great coach will say, hey, it's the losses I focus more on because it's the loss that keeps that power going.
And then when you
Mm,
have lack of clarity, you get lost in the losses.
There it is. There it
You
is.
see what I'm saying?
Clarity.
Like that's the big difference. When you get
Yeah.
lost in the loss, like for me, right? Like when you just said, coming up in them environments gives you an edge, bruh, it's probably an edge I can really do without. Like I'm telling you, bro. Like I was listening to some trap, some drill music, some King Von, right? And I had to turn it off because the more I started
Mm-hmm.
listening to it, I felt like it was rewiring me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was connecting wires that was cut. And I felt like certain anger, like, whoa, like, yeah, like, nah, yo, these, and my face got tight. And I said, well, I can't listen to that. You see what I'm saying? And,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting there, and then a part of me was like, yo, that joint was fire though. And I'm like, no, like, yo, stop. And the biggest thing that I got from it though, being in that environment, is yo, it don't matter where you place me, I'm going to win. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Before I won in the hood environment, I went through the storms. By the time the storms begin to feel normal, that's when I started to win. When a storm feels too stormy and it shakes you up, you either retreat or you sit in the storm. When you sit in the storm,
Mm-hmm.
you're either learning from the storm or you're just in here dealing with it, right? And if you're just dealing with it and not learning from it, when you come out of the storm, you're just more of a beast. So think about how many storms I had to go through to come out and be more of a beast. That
mm,
means it was harder to tame me. It was harder for me to tame myself. So I had to learn to get in these storms and be like, okay, cool. What did I really learn about me? No matter where you put me, I will adapt. It will be hard up front. I will be nervous. And that's when I first started saying, yo, being uncomfortable creates growth
mm.
because all my growth came after me being uncomfortable. But there's times when I was uncomfortable and all I did was lay there and wallow in my own filth and say,
Mm-hmm.
this is just life and what it is. The minute that shifted, bro, and I said, okay, cool. What did I learn about me? Yep, I learned this, I learned that, I learned this. Cool. Yo, if this Jackie could talk, bro, do you understand? Like, we wouldn't have to say nothing. They'll just give you the story. You see what I'm saying? And every time I put it on, I think about something like this was my cousin's, man. My cousin gave this to me when I was homeless, and I had a little coat. I had a real little thin coat, right? This army fatigue is
Right.
old, bro. He gave this to me before he got murdered. And I still got it. Got a cigarette hole in the back. I wear this in my hood, bro. Everybody know, like, oh, that's blocks. Like, everybody know where this jacket. This is a hand-me-down. I was homeless when I got it. Bro, it fits me now. I was small, 155 pounds then. Do you know? Like, oh man, I can't even tell you, bro. Like, this was a blanket. It wasn't a coat. You know what I'm saying? I had, man, listen, this was, we went to war in this joint. And that's why when I look at the past, I'm like, yo, you made it through that, bro. You have no reason to cry, and you damn sure can't ever retreat. So I just want y'all, man, everybody, like, grab something, that worst moment of your life, right? And hold it. Make it yours. Figure out what did it give you? What was the plus in this? Like, it's hard. Like, my cousin got murdered, bro. Yo, there's a plus in that. I would have never been with my wife. You know what I'm saying? I would never have my kids right now if that didn't happen. I might be doing life. I might be dead if that didn't happen to him. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's so many positives, and people will feel like, yo, so what you saying? You glad he going because you wouldn't be here? Nah, who said that? But at the end of the day, no matter what I say, what I do is going to bring him back, but I'm going to speak honest. You know what I'm saying? I told people, like, yo, the dudes that murdered him, bro, I'm not mad at you. Like, yo, we was all living the way we was living. I'm not mad at you. It happened. Right? It happened. Will I ever hang with you? Would I ever, like, chill out? We not smoking no blunts. We not eating together. We not doing nothing. But, bro, I'm never harming nobody. You see what I'm saying? And I'm at a point in my life where I can say that. And I'm like, I had to tell myself, can't nobody attack my character. Can't nobody attract, like, yo, would he get down? Is he saying that because he don't want to get, nah, bro, I'm not. I'm saying it because I had to release so I can rise. You see what I'm saying? So that's what coming from them environments did for me, bro. I can survive anywhere, no matter what.
I got two more things before we get out of here. One, I want to know from both of you guys, first from Preach, for the individuals that we work with that have no connection to the type of lifestyle that we grew up in, have no understanding of struggle. They came up and they have it, or they had it, they not necessarily saying that they had it all together, but they didn't have to go through much of the pain to actually become successful. How do you help them develop that type of same mindset, that same, you know what I'm saying, in them, to actually get them to the, like, to help them get to the next level when they don't have that pain?
I can't put something in you that you don't have. And some people, you haven't earned the right to know my story.
So we talk too much sometimes.
Pretty much, and sometimes my story may be too much for you. And so anybody let's be honest, anybody that's gone through it, we don't glamorize it. And we don't put it out there to glamorize. And really, frankly, you really don't like talking about it. But at the same time, I can't put something in you that's not there. And we see a lot of people today, let's be honest. I'm going to be honest, I don't care, that listen to hip hop music that ain't been through nothing anybody has talked about in hip hop.
Yeah.
But they listen because they need something to help identify with their pain on the level that they have experienced it. But unless you lived hip hop, you don't know hip hop.
I mean, some people still like to reiterate their stories because I don't think everybody has slept in abandoned buildings and ate out of trash cans.
You may not have done that, but you have your abandoned building and eat out of trash cans moment, right? You may not have done that literally, but who else? How many people can say, "Yo, I learned how to cook drugs from my mama because I was cooking them for her"?
Damn. Not many people.
Who can say? who can say that the people? You see what I'm saying? How many people can say that the people that was responsible for your growth stole and robbed you and stunted your growth?
So in your transformation process, where the people don't have these stories, are you helping them? Because we don't want to abandon people. So are you helping them find their story, even if it doesn't match up to you. So you're helping them find their pain.
Absolutely. I
Ooh.
help them, and that's when I ask, yo, help me understand, why is this behavior your preference? Because it came from
Wait, ask that
somewhere.
question again.
Help me understand why your behavior is your preference. Because watch
Wait,
this again.
so this, the way I'm
Behavior
acting
doesn't,
by choice. I'm
huh?
choosing to act like this.
Watch this. Either you choose it or not, it came from a place. It's a paradigm. And it started with your subconscious mind when you were born. And as you was raised, in the environment you was raised starts shaping a subconscious behavior and the way you behave and the way you believe in life should be. You didn't know you was poor until you went to somebody else's house.
Mama, why we ain't got no cookie jar?
You see what I'm saying?
Where our crystal at? Mama, why we
Yeah.
only got plastic cups?
Right. Yeah. You
They
didn't
got a
know that
guest
wasn't right.
bathroom
You thought
and a guest
everybody was
bedroom.
that
Two
way.
of them. Like,
You
nigga,
know
a
what I'm saying?
guest. So you telling me
Man,
don't nobody
yeah.
sleep in there?
And the
What?
bed's made. They got sheets and you got extra pillows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What? Wait a
So
minute.
when I got my house, I made sure I had 2 living rooms. We don't even use that
You
one.
know, you mean everybody got their own room?
Bro,
Yeah, crazy.
own room. We talking about bed.
Right. You know what
You
I'm
know
saying?
what though? Listen to this, man. When we're looking at it, and it's like you have somebody that everybody got a story, right? First of all, I believe everybody got a story. My pain point, your pain point's different, but my pain point don't disregard your pain point, right?
Right.
So when I'm hearing somebody talk, my story's not important until my story trumps their story. If my story and my pain points trump yours, I'm going to make you feel guilty for giving up on yourself when you ain't really been through shit, right?
Right.
If your pain points trump mine, I'm going to make you feel like a superstar because I don't know how you're still here. I couldn't have done it. So either way, if I trump you, this is my approach. If you trump me, then this is my approach. Either way, all I want to do is highlight you are better than what you're currently showing.
That's
right?
it.
And I want to get you to say it. I want you to identify it. So now you're like, yo, man, I did come through that. You start
Yep.
feeling like, now I want to harness that, right? I want to know where that emotion came from. Now I know this is a hot button. Now you're looking like, man, if you did that, I ain't got no excuse. Exactly. So what's the first thing you're going to do right now? Oh, I'm gonna dot, 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 and I want to harness that emotion, right? So either way, again, that's why when we ask a question, yo, sidebar, right? That's my new thing, sidebar. When we ask a question, I want y'all to know what are 2 to 3 ways you can answer the question that it gets when it gets responded to. So you ask the question, you should know how many ways they can answer, and then what's going to be your approach based on their answer. You know what I'm saying? And the more you do that, you go from having 3 to having 4 to having 8 to having 10, 20. Bro, you become a monster at that point. But I just think everybody got
But
pain.
that's, man, P, you in that thing, man. And I just want to say this. I've never been an inmate. But I've gone into the prison system and spoke, and to the point where the warden say, preach, you can come anytime you want to. To the point where I sat down and ate chow with brothers. To the point where I could just walk the halls. Now you say, well, preach, how were you able to do that? Number one, I didn't put myself above them. I humbled myself to know the only difference is I didn't get caught. That was number one.
Yep.
Number two, I've never been an inmate, but I've been in the system. And so I go to the place when I was in the system. I was in the system for 8 years. It was called the United States Navy. It's the same system. It's controlled by the same people. They tell you when to get up. They tell you when to go to chow. They tell you when to go to bed. They tell you what you're going to wear. They're going to tell you when you can go outside, when you can come inside. It's the same controlled system. So I use that experience of the system to relate.
Before we end, I'm mad because yo dude preach. I mean Pierre. What's this nigga's name? Andre Norman. Yeah, that nigga. What? We almost at the end. You know how it is.
It's after 9 o'clock y'all time, right?
Hey, and Preach got to go to bed, so
My wife
we
got to get in the
do what we
shower.
gotta do.
Thanks, Q.
You know what I'm
Q.
saying?
Q. You just got me back. I just want you to know you just got me back.
I'm just saying, no, so while I was working with this individual, and because it started to give me a complex about my own story, because it was like when I mentioned I understand the power of some of the things that we went through and how it can actually how it can actually sway the room or pull the attention onto us. But it's like I understand when I mention brain surgery, like that trumps a lot of people's like stuff. They like, damn, this nigga had brain surgery, foster like because he was like it was a point where I don't necessarily know if I actually made that my identity, in a sense, because I definitely didn't do that, but it was something that I've always like. I don't know a lot of people that actually had brain surgery, and not only are they not walking, because I mean, to this day, when I drive my car, there's moments when I'm driving my car and I'll be like, nigga, I'm driving. Like, like nigga, I'm driving. Like, for real. Like, I'm not supposed to be driving type of thing. But when I was working with this individual, it was like, don't say that, because like that actually stops everything in its tracks, and like all the attention is on you. And I want to kind of get like you guys' take on that, because somebody would ask me, hey yo, what's up, Shaquan? Like, I see that you're here, you're working with these people. Tell me about yourself. Tell me your story, type of thing. And then I mean, I would start with what I think is my greatest triumphs and trials and tribulations, and what's kind of got me here, because I don't think any picking up any type of skill set actually got me to the place where I am now. It was all the things that I actually overcome that actually showed me that anything is possible. Like, I can do anything. I can pick up anything and become great at it, whether it be a typewriter, a computer, whatever it is. I can pick it up and be great at it. Just like when I picked up the camera, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I started a clothing line, and my homie was tired of charging me $250 every week, and he was like, "Bro, take that money and buy a camera." And I bought I thought that was the most expensive camera at that time, but I bought a $1,200 lens, and then I just went all in, and then here we are today. No formal training in any of those things, but when we have these powerful stories, is there a time and place where we tell these stories, or are we given the permission because we went through them, that nobody can tell us not to tell these stories if it's actually part of our identity? Because this individual, Andre Norman, made me kind of like have PTSD about telling my story. Like, don't tell people that you have brain surgery, because that's going to take over the room. Crickets?
You
Y'all
heard
scared
her?
of this nigga?
I heard crickets. Huh?
Yeah.
Y'all
Look,
scared of this nigga?
no, the reason why it took me someplace, man, where somebody told me that I couldn't do what I'm doing because I didn't have formal education.
Mm.
And this was a professional in their field.
That
Like
was the
they reached
nigga.
the highest level. This was a
Oh,
athlete. And they told me I couldn't do what I was doing and be effective because I didn't have formal education. And this was 2019.
wow.
Yeah. Now, this person was a professional athlete, former professional athlete at the time. And they told me I couldn't do what I'm doing and be successful because I didn't have formal education.
Mm.
Yeah,
And that was 2019.
it was 2019.
Yo, that's
And what he
crazy.
didn't understand was my success is not measured by formal education. And watch this, not even a particular dollar amount. My success is measured by living to my purpose. And I had already overcome 20 years ago.
Mm.
I'm living in overflow now.
Crazy.
And the crazy thing is, now they putting out reports that companies are not even required a bachelor's degree. Like,
Nah,
so a
none
lot
of
of
it.
people are actually mad because they spent all that bread. You know what I'm saying? The company's like, yeah, nah, nigga, you don't really need that.
Yeah, Preach, you said 2019 is crazy because it was around that same time, 1819.
This nigga
Yeah,
say
18. It was like 1819. It was like 2019, 2018, somewhere in there. On New Year's, bro, we was at a spot and we was eating.
uh-huh.
For like some for New Year's, and one of the ladies, older lady, she had degrees and all of this, and she was talking, and I'd tell everybody, man, I got a GED, right? And we started talking, and she was talking about her income. I don't be talking about my bread, and she's talking like, yeah, you got to do this so you're able to do this. And I said, oh, listen, I totally appreciate it. Thanks for sharing. I said, but I'm doing okay. And she was like, yeah, but without a diploma, I know you're not doing that good. And she said, I'm making 75 a year and I got this and I got that. So at this point now that hood in me is sitting here like, yo, you're killing me right now. Stop.
Yeah.
And once you said 75, I'm like, yo, you're not even qualified to be in this conversation. And I was like, I said, yeah. I said, I just finished this year, man, because it was New Year's, right? So I was like, I just looked at my numbers and I'm like 180, 183, something like that for the year. And she was like, yeah, right. That's not possible, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, we could play big bank, take little bank. And I just looked at it. Why? Because in the hood, that's what it is. People I told me, I got bread,
That's
I got
what it
bread. Cool.
is. Yeah.
Big bank, take little bank. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I ain't gonna da da da. I said, all right, cool. Conversation's over, man. Listen, let's just enjoy the night. Just like when
You
Quan said, he could beat me in the
money in the
race and do
first
this.
place.
Cool. We'll pull up.
Let's go see, huh?
Yeah, we're like, we'll pull up. So I'm just like, yo, big bank, take little bank, and she didn't want to do it. It's not possible, blah, blah. And she
I'm
kept talking
because
about
you
it, and it was
big.
a topic of the night. So I say that to say this: when you're truly sold on what your mission is, what your story is, what your belief is, no one can talk you off the ledge. You see what I'm saying? People be like, yo, I attempted suicide. Bro, you didn't want to kill yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, I attempted suicide 3 times. I really didn't want to kill myself. Why? Because if I did, I would have made it happen. You see what I'm saying? It's not like, yo, we didn't attempt. Like, you sat there, you was on the building looking over, and you waited for all the fire truck people to come and they talked to you. Bro, you ain't want to do it. You was hurt. You was in your feelings. You see what I'm saying? So when it's your story and it's your vision, yo, you're supposed to perfect your story. If your story trumps a room, cool. Yo, somebody else better get a better one. Because when I talk, they ain't really listening to you after that. You don't want to follow me. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I learned how to tell my story so well. So I say that to say, bro, your story is your story. You might need to perfect it a little more. You might need to really like dial it in, but you ain't never supposed to get rid of it for nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's yours. You can't talk me off for telling people that, me being a high school dropout. Nah, I'm a high school dropout and I'm an author. You got a master's degree, you got your doctorates, you thought about writing the book forever, you ain't do it. Yup, just GED dude did it. You feel however you want to feel about it, but you'll never take away my publishing rights. You see what I'm saying? You never gonna take away. I'm qualified. I'm a certified author out here, published. I walk around. I got a box of books in my trunk right now. Guaranteed. I got 5 of them sitting in my office on my desk right now. When people come in, yeah, I'm talking about my book. Everywhere I go, I don't care what you feel. You got a book? Oh, you ain't got no book? Yeah, you probably, if you have one, you show people too. It's a lot of work.
Hold on. I got something for you before we get out of here. We got one question, and then I want you to get out of here. But this is what I want you to do with the rest of those books. No cap. I want you to go Nipsey mode. Sell each one of those books for $100.
Let's go.
That's it.
Let's go.
The price of each one of those books is $100.
Let's go.
I love it.
I'm telling you, when somebody asks you how much is this book, $100.
Yep.
And sell each one of them $100. That's how much he was selling his mixtape for. $100 a mixtape. Yep. So that's what we're gonna do. But I got one question before we get out of here. On a scale of 1 to 10, where you at mentally, Preach?
Today?
Yeah.
7.
And how can we get you to a 10, bro?
I was doing that today, and I'm gonna continue to do it tomorrow. I had such a long week last week, and some things got underneath my radar that I pride myself staying on top of. And I was so busy last week with everybody else that I didn't work on me. And when it was time to deliver, I delivered. But it's like P said, I didn't deliver for me though. So today I had a stopping point. Tomorrow I got a stopping point. And so it's a constant, man. Bro, it's a constant reminder that the way I show up for everybody else, I gotta show up for me first.
Ooh, bro, you know how good that is. Somebody told me, Shaquan, you too busy trying to be God for everybody else. Let me be God, bro. No
Yeah,
wonder why you tired.
yeah,
You trying to
yeah,
be everybody for everybody. You gritting the groceries, picking up the kid from the school, cleaning the house, then doing the car, and then at the end of the day, you be like, yeah, I'm tired, nigga. Ain't nobody doing. Cause you trying to be everybody for everybody, bro. Let me be God. You ain't leaving
yeah.
no room for me, bro.
And
That's
and
oh,
with
that's
and
good.
and with fatigue brings a coward. When you tired, you're a coward. And so, and
Wow.
be, because I was man, and I'm about to add one more to this because this was my end of the weekend experience. Um, Q, we talked about something last week, bro. I saw it materializing with my situation last week, the end of last week.
The devil is a liar, bro.
Right. And what was happening as a parent, I caught myself trying to raise my son, and we're going to circle back to this with my fears. I have to remember that my son is not growing up in my situation. And so I'm raising him and parenting him and putting on him certain things as if he was growing up in my situation. And I noticed the pressure that I was putting on him on situations that's not even his. It was my story. That he looking at me like, yo, what's I ain't understanding.
Mm.
And because I had a busy week, I wasn't showing up for myself. I was looking at him and raising and putting some in an energy on him that was based on my fears growing up. That he's looking at me crazy. And it caused some friction, man, that I didn't like. And I saw something that I didn't like. Something happened that I didn't like. And I had to go back and fix it.
Mm.
I had to go back and fix it. But it was because I wasn't leading my life them few days. I was just living. And I was being there for everybody else, but I wasn't being there for me, which eventually affected me not really being there for my son when he needed me to be. I was putting my fears on him, and I had to fix that.
Mm.
I had to fix that. So yeah, that's why I'm at a 7, man. Uh, and I realized this morning, all right, dudes, you need to take the day off for you today, and take tomorrow off for you. Do a little
Yeah.
bit of work, but you got to do it for you, man. Because, bro, I'm gonna go on and put it out there. My son had a baseball game, and I didn't like the way some things shaped up before the baseball game. And because of some things didn't shape up right, he had a bad game. He was in tears after the game. And I think because of the pressure I put on him, he didn't even speak to me after the game, bro. We walked away from each other, not saying nothing to each other. My son is 9. And I was putting my fears on him that caused him to be fearful to come to me after he had a bad game because of the expectation. And he not really knowing, man, I'm just proud of you showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. P, man, on a scale of
So I
one to
had to
10,
fix it.
bro,
Yeah.
where you
Yeah,
at?
I'm like, man, didn't preach. Didn't preach.
The end of it, baby.
You know,
This is what people gonna stay
honestly,
for right here.
Yeah.
yeah. Honestly, bro, I started the day out at a 5, and
Mm,
because I broke my morning routine, right? That's how you know your morning
Ooh.
routine. So that's that data. That's that data. I had to go back and see what changed my morning. And there was some things that happened in the night that affected the morning. And my mind, instead of being focused on what the task was for the day, I was focused on how do I patch this up? How do I fix this? How do I make this better? And it started to consume my mind, right? And then before you know it, the day's almost gone, and I'm like, yo, I missed out on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I didn't do. So then now I stop beating myself up, right? And I'm driving home, and I'm like, man, I was supposed to do this. I didn't do this because I was doing this. And then that talk kept going in the opposite direction. So now I go from a 5 to being at like a 3. You know what I mean? Because I know that I let emotions get the best of me. I let emotions get me. And because emotions got me, it affected the day. And now I'm sitting here like, okay, cool. You got to go into overdrive. So as soon as I get off here, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go get my time that I should have took this morning, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look through the data, and I'm gonna make sure that before I lay down to go to sleep, everything is in alignment, right? So I'm looking at it like, okay, what messed the night up? Let me make sure that never happens again. Let me put a safety measure inside of it, like a corporation. They have a problem, lose money. They put a process in place to stop them from losing money, even if it's just a document to sign, right? So I'm going to make sure that when I close my eyes, I'm in the right space. I'm going to make sure that when I get up, I do what needs to be done, no matter what, no exceptions, because I didn't like the feeling I had today. And most of the times, man, we don't have nothing to measure our down days to. But I know that based on the routine, based on the data I have, Pierre, you didn't do these things. So not only did you get a day you wasn't happy about, but you actually manifested that day. You brought that day on. It was my controllables. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, man, we know we need to do things certain ways so it puts us in the right place, but we don't want to we don't want to mess anybody else up just so we could be right. Yo, stop doing that. If you allow people to break you or you to break yourself for others, yo, you will never get what you want in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, stick to what it is, and then people will respect your discipline just as you will. And then you'll get more of the results that you're looking for. So right now, man, yeah, I'm probably even at this moment being on this, man. It helped because you get the chance to talk and talk it out, right? But yeah, nah, today started at a 5, man, and dropped down to like a 3. So it was a rough one. But yeah, no one would ever know when we was on here. Why? Because as entrepreneurs, man, we learn to just say, okay, let's hide it, let's keep fighting, right? Let's fight past the pain. But I got a process to eliminate the pain. And a lot of y'all don't have no process. That's why y'all need to keep tapping in.
So that process is gonna get you to a 10.
Oh, listen, hell yeah, bro. I
We gonna check
promise you.
on.
I promise you, when I go to sleep, I'm be like this, like yeah. And when I wake up, bro, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even thinking about it. It's not, bro. I don't care if you're gonna mess my mood up. I promise you, I will distance you
Oh,
fast.
back,
You know what I'm saying? So I
back,
need y'all to love
Yeah.
you. I need y'all to love you.
backs.
Yeah.
I would say
Where you at,
myself,
Q?
man, I was at a solid 6. The beginning of my day, even getting up at 5:15, even getting into the gym, like I just felt like I wasn't appreciated. I felt like I wasn't actually being heard. Um, and then like I don't know, like everything just started to shift. Like it was weird. Like I put out a video yesterday with an artist attached to it. And I felt like the lyrics the whole day was just like speaking to me. I mean, of course it was a little bit aggressive, but of course I sharing with some things with you guys, just going through some things with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is telling me like, "Yo, you such a good son. You such a good son." And I'm just like, "Yo, I'm playing catch up." Of course, that's another thing I need to work on is not accepting, you know what I'm saying, when people actually give me compliments. But at the same time, I was wondering why people weren't giving me compliments. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the weirdest thing. Like people were like boom, 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 like yo, you're good. Like literally, my mom's nurse texted me was like, yo, you a good son. My response to her was like, I'm working on it. She looking at it like, bro, you didn't been up here every day. You didn't got there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of these other people. You know what I'm saying? Like bro, my mama's hospice bill is $1 million a year. How the fuck? How, Sway? How, Sway? I don't even know, bro. That's gonna be another story. But then the crazy thing is that the artist that I tagged the video in, he at first he, it's not uncommon for anybody that I when I use their music and their lyrics on my video, because everything is in tandem together, that they might share it on their stories like that, and then we might end up having a conversation in the DMs and stuff like that. Man, I wish I could share the DMs and show y'all physically, but like we started having a conversation, dude, like, yo, how is your mom's, like praying for your mom and such like that. One of my other friends was like, hey, yo, I had sent her a screenshot, and she was like, Q, everybody is out here for you. I'm just like, what? Like, and then like I don't know what this dude did, but he had like 100 people send me DMs like, yo, praying for your mom, yo, like we love your mom, like, hey, yo, this video is such a vibe. This boom, 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 like, boom. Okay, I was like, all right, that made me better. And then like when it comes to my fiance, I'm just like, hey, yo, like we're blessed to have a beautiful home, and a nice little compound. And I mean, me just growing up with women in my past, like I'm a clean dude. Like I'm gonna make sure this done, this done, this done, this done. Like I don't know. I bring structure into a home, and like doing that, I was like, yo, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and I'm still doing this. Like I know, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like comparing myself. And then the sun happened to be setting. Me and my girl go out and sit outside and everything like that. And then she was just breaking it down to you. She was like, Q, there's a whole bunch of people out here that's faking this lovey-dovey stuff. I'm gonna tell you how to fix yourself. Like me giving you my time should let you know that I don't need to always give you compliments. You're not finna get the SHAQ. What that spell? Like, bro, you're not finna get that every time. But the way that she actually broke it down to me, I know that was coming out of love, and it was just like, bro, like I want you to get past thinking that you need to always be validated. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need to always be validated. Like I'm like, yo, I done sent you like 20 videos. I done showed you new contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on type of thing. And just having the people around me to remind me that I'm not alone, that people actually do support me. Cause I'm like, bro, let me get out this gym, bro. Cause I'm like, I can't cry in this gym, cuz. Can't cry in this gym. Like,
yo, why not though? Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I mean, because there was just too many people in there.
So, but that's part of it. So what?
Right.
So what?
Yeah.
You don't.
You need your
I bet
release.
you.
I
If
was
you'd have been
I was
you,
definitely-
you
I
don't
was
know
definitely
who.
like-
You don't
Hey,
know
I
who
was
would have ran
definitely
up on you. It
like
would have been a whole new relationship, a whole new world.
Hey, I
You
was
see what I'm
definitely like,
saying?
I was definitely like Friday. Hey, that nigga go cry in the car though. Nigga go cry in the
Hey, listen, bro. We was at Steak 44, man. I was talking to my son, man. I started crying at the table, bro. When my son turned 21, I was crying at the table in Steak 44. I don't care who's seen it. Why? Because the people at the table are the ones I care about. And I was showing them that, I don't know, I didn't cry on purpose. I cried on accident. It wasn't staged. But when it come to my son and come to my daughter, bro, that's a whole different love. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't ever care how anybody feels about me outside of my wife and my kids. Because at the end of the day, when shit ain't right, them are the only ones that are going to be there. When things are right, them are the only ones that need to reap the reward. You see what I'm saying? So I'm never worried about nobody. And I tell my whole family, like, yo, when we're out, we're in a bubble. The world has nothing to do. Our bubble can only be popped from within. So if you're not in our bubble, you don't have an opinion on our bubble. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, I don't even like if my wife talked to somebody, don't bring that conversation to me. My son talked to someone, don't bring that conversation to me. When we all connect, yo, we talk about us. When we connect, we talk about our growth. You know what I'm saying? And then outside of that, we're gonna bless some other people, but we're focused on us as a unit first. So nah, bro, I don't care how nobody feel. Okay, nobody feel me. If the people in my house are patting me on the back, and I understand everybody show love differently, like I'm not emotional like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody passed, but I'm not gonna be boo-hooing with you. You know what I mean? That's just me. My wife's sympathetic like that. I'm over here like, yo, damn, man, sorry to hear it. And I'm gonna give you a little moment, but yo, all right, cool. We got to get moving still. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just me. Why?
Yep.
Because I watched it. I done seen it too much. Like I know people supposed to die in the world. You see what I'm saying? And when someone crying like, yo, somebody died, natural causes, what you boo-hooing for, bro? Like they ain't in pain no more. I done seen people murdered, you know what I'm saying? Gone. Or like somebody suffering in pain and you crying because they gone, you selfish. They don't have no more pain, bro. Stop being selfish. You see, but that's just me and how I look at it. And my family knows how I love. So I think it's our job, man, to know how we love, know how the people around us love, and not expect anybody to love the way we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we all show it differently. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all I got,
that's
man.
one
I'm
thing.
done. I ain't talking to
Yeah.
you no more tonight,
Hey,
Quan.
that's one
You.
of the things that I picked up, and just those gentle reminders, you know what I'm saying, talking it out, having somebody let me know, like, yo, I'm here to
Mhm.
make you better. And of course, there's many, many people that got your back, like feeling that love, but then also identifying that what I was looking for was actually being given to me. And just because it wasn't given to me in the way that I actually wanted, because I have a weird way of actually wanting things to go like my way and this way and just like that. Like, yo, it should be a privilege. Like, I had to even get it over with my son. Like, I had to really heal the little boy in me because I was like, yo, bro, it's a privilege that you got this house. Like, nigga, I slept in the motherfucking abandoned building. What you talking about, bro? Like, but I had
That
to
ain't
get
got
over
nothing to
that, bro.
do with him. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Preach said, like, you know what I'm saying, passing my fears on to him. But it did help me get to a 8. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't completely at a 10, but it got me to a place where I
Oh, it's
just
at
felt much,
10.
much better. I mean, we gonna work on that 10. You know what I'm saying? That 10 is me actually accepting what's actually being given to me and not actually running from it.
Mm.
And knowing that it's there, and knowing that I'm doing a good job, and I don't necessarily need people to validate that for me. I actually need to believe that myself, and that's always going to actually outpour into the world. Like, people are going to see it and they're going to want to give me more of what they actually are already giving me. I'm not going to push that away. So, man, with that said, y'all got information from talking about Beyonce. Y'all got information from talking about so many different things that you can take away from this. And what I want y'all to do is mind y'all P's and Q's. We out, y'all. Peace.